all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hello, everybody. How we doing? You just all the way on the outside. Get in there. Thank you, Elite Taylor, for becoming a member. Appreciate it.
Now you have been promoted. You are now one of my elite employees.
So I wanted to come here and talk a bit about this whole Black fatigue thing. This is a new thing to me. I never really heard of the term. I was a little confused. Oh, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. I'm not a fan of basketball at all at this point. I was a fan back when Jordan was running it. And back then we hated the Knicks. We hated the Knicks and we hated the Pistons specifically. So this whole Black fatigue, I had to sort of look it up to see why was this a conversation, who was saying it. And you know, just like, what was it supposed to even mean for real? Black fatigue. What does that even mean for real? So this is when I did my Googles, because they haven't taught AI how to lie yet. This is what it came up with. Black fatigue refers to the emotional, mental, and physical exhaustion experienced by Black individuals due to the cumulative effects of racism, discrimination, and systemic oppression. Black fatigue is characterized by the constant stress and exhaustion that arises from enduring daily microaggressions, overt acts of racism, and the societal pressure of proving one's worth in environments that often devalue Black lives. That one is actually kind of important. We're going to circle back to it. This term encapsulates the toll that living in a racially biased society takes on individuals, leading to significant mental and physical health issues. The causes: daily racial stressors. The ongoing exposure to subtle and overt acts of racism can lead to a state of heightened alertness and anxiety, which is mentally draining. 2, systemic inequity. Structural racism creates environments where Black individuals face barriers in employment, healthcare, and social interactions, contributing to feelings of isolation and frustration. And 3, media exposure. Constantly witnessing violence against Black individuals in the media can exacerbate feelings of helplessness and fear, leading to emotional fatigue. Implications of Black fatigue. The effects of Black fatigue are profound, impacting not only mental health, but also physical well-being. Research indicates that the stress associated with racism can lead to chronic health issues, including hypertension and other stress-related conditions. Furthermore, the psychological toll can manifest as anxiety, depression, and a sense of disconnection from one's community. addressing Black fatigue. To combat Black fatigue, it is essential for individuals and organizations to acknowledge the realities of racism and create supportive environments. This includes fostering open dialogue about race, providing mental health resources, and implementing policies that promote equity and inclusion. Additionally, self-care practices and community support can help individuals manage the emotional toll of their experience. In summary, Black fatigue is a critical concept that highlights the need for awareness and action against the systemic issues that contribute to the exhaustion felt by many in the Black community. Understanding and addressing this phenomenon is vital for promoting mental health and well-being among Black individuals. Now, I don't know if I should click on this website, Red State. This seemed like a... Let's go for it. Should I click on it? Let's do it. Let me click on this questionable website. Red State sounds like a real conservative, wonderful website, right? There's a phrase around the internet you might have come across recently due to it being used in polite conversation to describe an issue within the Black community. Thing is, I've seen it being used more by Black people than anyone else. Black fatigue is being used to describe America's exhaustion with the behavior of parts of the Black community that you often see stereotyped. They're often portrayed as violent, rude, loud, hypersexualized, and destructive. I guess I can't read the rest of it because I'm not a member here. Whatever. I don't claim to know where this terminology, there's always a new terminology cropping up. I've never heard a Black person say Black fatigue ever. So I doubt that this is something based in real time. This seems like an internet thing. Even if it is an internet thing, things on the internet spread into real life and people's actual psyche, and they begin to act out things and concepts that spring from the internet that claim to have sprung from real life. There are a couple of different aspects of this so-called Black fatigue. And the reason I am addressing it is because this is the perfect segue into concepts that this channel has brought to everyone. And for some reason, we are still skipping around these terminologies and these concepts as if we do not know what the problems are, and as if we do not understand the solution. We want to play like we still are unable to articulate at the heart of the matter what's going on with the Black community as a collective, as a whole. We like to still play like we don't have the words to describe, or that the concept is so big that we don't know how to organize the thoughts about the concepts in order to properly articulate what's going on with us, which I find to be interesting, considering the fact that we have talked extensively on this channel for the past few years about things like the lost value system, the 10 life value system, biology, culture, and environments, how that works together to create a value system, whether it be a good one or a bad one. We have talked about the lost cause. We have discussed at length All of these things that basically summarizes what's going on with the Black community, why we can't seem to get it together, and what those things are, including a book that I wrote, Reclaiming the Black Feminine, that covers these topics from the perspective of a woman trying to figure out what has gone wrong in her femininity and how to correct it. The elders before me, the Dr. Francis Cress Welsings, the Dr. Claude Andersons, the Neil Foley Juniors. Please correct me because I get his name mixed up with the other brother. I get those names mixed up all the time. So please forgive me. But the elder passed recently. Neely Fuller. Thank you. All of these elders have articulated for us the different aspects of what it is that has been taken from us and why those things are very important. Just because I think it needs to be said, I'm gonna say it. Dear white society, if any of you have decided that Black fatigue is a nice way to point out the idiosyncrasies, bad behaviors of the Black community as a whole, and you're using that term to say you tired of Negroes, I want to say this. As a society, you don't have a right to critique the Black community. You don't. You don't have a right to critique it. Whatever it is we do, whether we sink or swim, whether we survive or we don't, whether we perish right now or we thrive, me man to you, me man, me man, me man. Because listen, let me tell you something. No Black person with any sense in their head is trying to act any particular way that we think might garner so-called white approval. We don't need none of you to nod your head and say, good dog. That's a good Negro right over there. We don't need that. Because before there was the foolishness that's going on in the Black community, when we were practicing a good value system that helped us thrive as a group of people, there was a certain other group of people that constantly hated on it and sought to physically and mentally destroy everything that we built, everything that we thought, everything, every time we got up on our feet to do what was right for us, We wasn't going around doing no crimes. We wasn't going around deleting people. We was not doing that. It was so minuscule among us. Such a minuscule thing among us and between us. So almost it didn't really exist like that, because we had a standard as a group. We kept to that standard. We had spiritual anchoring. No matter if people wanted to say it was misguided or not, we had it. We did our best to adhere to it and adhere to a standard that we could live with. A standard of class and behavior that we could look ourselves in the mirror and have dignity and have pride with it. And even when we had the most dignity, even when we had the most pride, even when we were able to hold our heads high despite the foolishness that y'all was doing consistently, mind you, and randomly and arbitrarily, both systematically, but you would plan it and you would do it randomly. Whatever act of violence and whatever else you wanted to do. Even when we were at the height of who we were as a people, y'all have always called yourself, thought we wasn't good enough, and they lazy, and they look at them, and they criminals, and they this and they that, and they monsters. So miss me completely with what you tired of in the Black community, when it was your ancestors that created an entire system that would produce a ill-gotten demonic value system that would throw us into the bowels of chaos for centuries, well after any slavery or anything was going on. Well after all of that, every time we got up, y'all made sure to infect us with some type of foolishness. You couldn't really get us as much as you wanted to get us during Reconstruction. You really couldn't get us how you wanted to get us through just the violence of all of y'all little hate groups. You couldn't really break us with the redlining and the Jim Crow and all of the various systematic ways in which you thought to legislate the foolishness that you was doing against us. We kept on being a community. We kept on being a community, and you kept being mad at it. You finally broke us down in recent century. Took you long enough. You hit us with the drug epidemics back to back. We had 2 back-to-back drug epidemics. Shout out to the CIA. That completely disrupted everything that we was trying to be. And then you hit us with a 1, 2, 3 body shots with feminism. You capped it off with the coup de grace, which was feminism to infect the minds and the hearts. Because that's how you really ruin and destabilize a society, isn't it? To capture the mind and heart, correct? That is how you do it. That is how you do it. So you can't do it when you're the obvious ops. It's easy to fight when you're the ops. More difficult to fight when the ops is among us and look like us and raise us and have us and teach us. So the foolishness that y'all see come from the very value system that was inserted forcibly among us and to us and perpetuated and then brainwashed us with it. Then you brainwashed us with it. So I don't want to hear you say anything about what we're doing. Because ain't nobody looking to get your nod of approval. Because first of all, you ain't never going to give that nod of approval. And second of all, don't nobody care about it no how. Not no black person with no sense. We can talk about it. We can talk about it. We can talk about it because we're doing it. We're going through it. We're the ones traumatized by it. We're the ones that need to understand how to fix it. We're the ones that need to be aware of what exactly is happening to us and how and where the solutions are so that we can fix our own issues. Don't nobody need you to say yay or nay to it. Me man. Man the business that pay you. You a fallen empire anyway. Man that business. That's what you need to do. Mind that business. Your empire is on its way out. Mind that. Now, on to Black people and Black fatigue. I don't really want to hear us talk about what the system has done. To the extent that we don't go past that. Because the issues, the most prevalent of our issues, may have been brought about by those outside forces, but it is an internal issue. And so therefore, me mad how it got here. It may not completely be our fault that it is here, but it is definitely our problem. See, just because stuff not our fault don't necessarily mean it's not our problem. Flooding our neighborhoods with drugs and guns, and see, that wasn't our fault that it got there, but it definitely became our problem, and a big problem, a big old problem that we must resolve. No one is coming to save anybody. See, the wrong approach is trying to get white society to change their minds about things. They're not going to do that. And our salvation as a people is not contingent upon it. That is what I need my people to understand. First of all, you're not going to change white society's minds about anything. You're not going to change their mind about nothing. Okay? They have their own culture, and a lot of that foolishness is embedded in it. They have a history in the world See, you don't just up one day and now you don't do colonizing. You don't just up and do that when you have spent centuries doing that all over the earth. All over the world. Nothing but colonization and foolishness and destruction. You don't just decide you don't do that no more. Yes, you do. You still do it. Push come to shove, you gonna do it right today in 2025. You gonna do it today. See, Black folk always get real comfortable when the monster turn their back, as if it's still not the same, like it don't still got the nature that it's got. Just because it's sleep right now and it ain't biting, don't mean that it's not the same thing. I'm tired of us getting rocked to sleep by that. That's crazy work. Stop it. Stop that. You are not going to change their minds about nothing. You understand me? They can play nice and grin and skin all they want to, but that does not mean anything has changed. Nothing. This was one of the reasons why I just sat back knowing that Trump would win that election. Because you need to be woke up. You need somebody like him to get in the office and do all kind of stuff so you could see it. Because you forgot. You forgot. And he the perfect reminder. And he lightweight. Right now, it's lightweight. This is lightweight. See, it's lightweight because he's not even really paying attention to the Black community. He's scrambling, trying to save this falling empire. It's crumbling all around their head, and they scrambling. And they're going back to the old tactics that they have always used in order to try to preserve it and try to save it. And y'all need to see that. Y'all need to see that in real time. Okay. You didn't need Kamala. She wasn't going to do nothing but keep on trying to, wave the wand in front of you and make sure you don't know what's going on. You needed him. So you could be right in your face and pop you upside your head with the stuff that you thought was long gone. I don't know where you thought it went. Where'd you thought it went? That's what I want to know. It didn't go nowhere. That's the answer. So stop trying to, Black people, I'm talking to you. Stop trying to convince these people you can't make no program. You can't make no coalition. You can't make no group. You can't make nothing that's going to turn a light bulb on and say, ooh, that was wrong. You're not going to turn that light bulb. But first off, that light bulb is not off. See, Negroes too busy thinking they don't know what they doing. They know exactly what they doing. They intend to do it. This is not a mistake. This is not they intend to do this stuff. The stuff that they doing, that they've been doing for hundreds and may even for thousands of years, they've been doing it. What are you talking about? What? They still got y'all fooled as though they hold some moral high ground that Black people got to try to reach. We got to try to be as good as them. When they're the very face of destruction. colonization and systems of oppression. How that work? Now, and they still got you Negroes convinced that they are on some type of moral high ground. No, they are not. No, they are not. The other thing that I need Black people to understand, and I need you to understand it well. Circling back to this is our problem. Instead of trying to convince white people about this and about that and stop doing this to us and all that craziness, we have to address the issues that have destroyed us. Why do you think it all come back to why I go hard against feminism and why I have always said that feminism is the offshoot of white supremacy? It isn't offshoot. It is a destabilizing tactic, and it has worked. That is what Black people need to figure out, because it is the mindset that we carry that has destroyed us. It's the value system that we are holding on to for dear life that's actually killing us. It has killed our spirituality. It has killed all of our internal values and made us focus on things that ultimately matter very little. They don't matter as much as we think it do. We're so consumed with getting a bag. We're so consumed with leisure and chilling. We're so consumed with what kind of job somebody got. We're so consumed by whether or not somebody got a piece of paper that say they supposed to be somewhere and doing something. We're so consumed specifically by those top 4 on the chart that you are looking at right now: wealth, leisure, profession, education, within a lost value system. We are too consumed with all of those things, and we are not consumed hardly at all with our spiritual values, our health values, our family values, our appearance values. We don't care about any of those things as much as we should be caring about them. We think that at some point we don't have to have those internal things, spiritual health, family, appearance, and dwelling, in order to have those external things: mobility, education, profession, leisure, and wealth. We honestly believe that in order to have any wealth, in order to have anything, that we must forego any kind of spiritual grounding or health or anything like that, that we must become demons in order to receive something. We gotta be demons in order to receive something that Allah would give you if you would but ask and obey. The riches and the wealth of this world don't mean nothing to Allah that he would withhold it, because the most evil of people got it and good people got it. He don't care about none of that. We have ridiculed all of those internal things. We have ridiculed these things. We ridicule people who adhere to any spiritual system strictly, or what we consider to be strict. If they are rigorous, if they take it seriously, if you got a Muslim that take Islam seriously, or you got a Christian that take Christianity seriously, or you got a Hebrew Israelite that take that seriously, or you got anybody that take any of that seriously. They try to live their life by it to the best of their ability. They try to study. They try to, make sure that they understand, the world, and understand God, and try to obey and stuff like that. These people are the laughing stocks. These are the laughing stocks. These people get laughed at, ridiculed, told that they are stupid, told that they're not thinking properly because they believe in some God somewhere that can't nobody see, supposedly, that don't nobody know exists, supposedly, that can't nobody prove, supposedly. Supposedly, we not supposed to know that Allah exists. We not supposed to know that. So we get laughed at about that. We in the Black community, we laugh at health. That statue, that Mammy statue in Manhattan, the Mammy of Manhattan is what I'm gonna call it. The Mammy of Manhattan got Black women crashing out on the internet talking about, oh, you wanted her to be slim, and you wanted her to be healthy, and you wanted her to, not represent the average looking Black woman. When that represent the average looking Black woman, you wanted her to be slim, huh? And said it with such disgust, as if having a slim physique, having health, not being overweight was something white that wasn't supposed to represent Blackness. Good things don't belong to us. See, that's that inner white supremacist be coming out of folk. The inner KKK grand wizard, or whatever they call him, come right out of you when we start talking about the good things that Black people are supposed to be doing. Looking out for your spirituality, looking out for your physical health, your mental health, and things of that nature. We just got to a point as a group, as a collective group, where we don't automatically call you crazy because you need a therapist, because you trying to work through trauma. We just got to that. And misusing that, by the way. So now we think the gym is somewhere where we ain't supposed to be, or something that, if you are healthy, you're not, super curvy, you're not Black, or you're not Black enough. Which leads us to not even understand our own selves on a physical level. We don't even understand ourselves on a physical level. When we're healthy, the weight of a healthy, fit, and when I say fit, I mean fit, Black woman is, unless she's petite, is gonna be heavier than a white woman at that same level of fitness. If you take a Black woman and a white woman and you put them in the gym and they reach the same level of fitness, probably about 70% of the time, the Black woman is gonna weigh more. She's gonna weigh more. And the reason for that is for our physical and genetic makeup. We're heavier than them. Typically, we're stronger, more muscle mass, more density. So a Black woman can actually be fit at 160, 170. She actually can be fit, not fat, fit. You can be fat at 170 or you can be fit at 170. Your choice. That's for them. The ideal weight for a woman got to be 120, 130. We don't do, again, unless we're just petite. She's a woman of a smaller build generally. Then you get Black women that might be in that 135, 140. She's a petite woman anyway. So she's never going to be real big, no how, which is fine, which is perfectly fine. But the average ones of us who actually get fit, we can be fit at that 160, 170. We can be fit, no stomach, we can be fit. They're usually not fit at that weight. Because I promise you, the last time I was 135, I was in grammar school. The last time I was 120 something, 130, I was a child. And I was never a fat child. At my fittest, I was probably 150, 155. And I'm talking about a muscle. I was nothing but a muscle. That I could not have gone down to 135, 140 unless I started losing my muscle. Right? So I have seen and experienced being a fit Black woman, and that scale not really telling that story. You would have to see me. And I'm saying that to say, why couldn't that statue have reflected that truth? After these messages, we'll be right back. So I need everybody to go to ashkicking.com. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. If you are wanting your skin to look and feel and smell its absolute best, get you some of this Ash Kicking body butter right here. It's wonderful stuff. You will not regret it. Once again, the link is pinned to the top of the chat. If this is going to be your first order, please take advantage of the 10% discount using a promo code Crimson at checkout. Let me go ahead. I owe you guys a bam, 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 bam. You got to hit the like button. Bam, bam. You got to, Okay, thank you for that. Thank you. Pharaoh said Black fatigue sound like a reason for my Kenya visit. It's a new name for Black trauma. I heard it before. Thank you, Moguls. Absolutely, because that's really where all the problems initiated from. Thank you, Bakish, for your super sticker. I appreciate you. Thank you, C. Williams, for your contribution. Appreciate you. Thank you. Cedric said, but our people delete each other every day. Accountability. Thank you, HVACs. In other words, we're the Spartans out of Halo in the games, except naturally, heavier bone density, body structure, all that. Also, like Superman, we are. I don't know if people really realize why that's so in many cases. Thank you, Too Tall. So remember Soul Train. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. First off, let's just understand that we are, as a collective group, genetically superior. We are genetically superior. Period. Period. We're more durable. We're more hardy. Period. Why do Black people take over sports? Why do we do that? Why do we do that? Wasn't nobody watching no basketball when them white boys was throwing that ball in them little open peach baskets. Wasn't nobody watching that. Nobody cared about no basketball until Black folk got over there and started doing all kind of stuff. Didn't nobody care about baseball till Black folk got over there. They didn't even really want us to do all of that over there with that baseball, because we do that too. They absolutely do not want us dealing in hockey at all, and we kind of don't want to, right? That's the only thing saving that. But whenever we foray into any of them sports, even if we don't overtake that sport, we're going to be dominant in that sport. Venus and Serena, it ain't no whole bunch of Black female tennis players. They the GOATs. All that history of white tennis playing. Some stuff we not interested in, just let them have something. Because if we go over there in mass, we gonna take it. If we go over there in mass, we gonna take it. Period. Just in general, we're genetically superior. It is what it is. They couldn't have got out there and did none of that plantation labor. That's why they didn't do it, because they couldn't do it. They didn't do it because they couldn't do it. Else they would have colonized their own self. Because trust and believe, they colonized one another. They didn't like the Irish. They didn't like the Italians. Them would have been the slaves. If they had been capable of doing that work like that, but they could not do it. They couldn't really deal. Their immune system wasn't good enough. Couldn't really deal with the temperature. You know how they is with the sun. Okay. So, they wasn't trying to, they ain't want that smoke. They ain't want that smoke. Got to go get somebody that can do it. I'm not even trying to be funny. It just is what it is. Almost got him up out of here. Almost got him up out of here. The Spanish flu almost got him up out of here. Them smallpox that they tried to give everybody else almost took them out too. You almost got hit with your own bat. You got hit with your own weapon. You trying to hit somebody else, done rebounded and hit you. You almost got took out. They stay almost getting taken out. Let me circle back around because I need to wrap this up. Right. Because for real, I caught C19. I got over it in about a week or so. We got to have already been compromised. Our immune system would have already needed to be compromised in order to go through that. Because it was a flu. What happened to it? Where it's at? Because they wanted us to believe it was going to be the zombie apocalypse back in 2020. Right? They said the morgues was overrun. That's what they said. They said the morgues was overrun. They said they ain't know where to put the bodies at. They said they didn't know how, they just didn't know how they was going to operate. And it was so many people. Like, I never believed the numbers. Somebody passed away from it, but I never believed them numbers. Right. You recuperate if you get any kind of health to you. I mean, it gets you, it was rough. I ain't gonna say it wasn't rough. It was rough. It was rough. It was not a good one. It wasn't normal. That wasn't your regular. It was a different strain. You could feel it. Yeah. Yeah. The fatigue to the muscles was a big deal. That was a big deal, actually. Let me try to wrap this up. As a people, as Black people, I want us to, from this day forward, stop acting like we don't understand the terminology. Stop acting like we don't know what these are and how they impact us and what we're supposed to do in order to get out of the mindset that we have. Stop acting like we don't understand these concepts. Stop acting like we don't understand these concepts. And if you don't understand the concepts, I have playlists that specifically talk about these concepts in an in-depth way. Please go and check out those playlists. I have a Lost Cause playlist. I have a Bioculturons playlist. Please. Let's stop trying to act like we don't know how to articulate what's going on with us. The mindset is screwed up. It's wacky. Feminism is a big issue, but not just because, oh, we don't like the women and the women misbehaving. And that's almost just the surface level. That's not even really the biggest problem. Because women can actually be brought to heel. That's not even, it's the deeper implication of that is the issue. It's what happened after. It is what became the issue. It was the destruction of the family is that became the issue. That's why the mindset needs to be attacked, because it's the mindset that's giving birth to all of this chaos and destruction that's actually helping to finish us off. We give too much so-called grace to one another. The reason why we can't climb out of the barrel is because we are afraid of creating a value system and a standard for us to live up to. We do not want to create a value system and a standard for us to live up to. There's a certain amount of meeting people where they are, but we can't go all the way over to where they are. People have to meet a standard. People have to meet a standard. And falling below the standard, it doesn't get you a participation trophy. We have bought too much into the participation trophy, and that's not real. That's not reality. Even the Most High don't even operate like that. He got a standard. Don't live up to it and see what's up. You can play if you want to. You cannot do it. That's your choice. But once it's done, once the final paper has been turned in, ain't no going back. Ain't no going back. Ain't no do-overs. Ain't no do-over. Nothing in life actually operates that way. You might get a couple of chances to do such and such, so forth and on, but there does come a point where you reach a point of no return, and all of that, oh man, I'm trying, give me a chance to do this and give me that becomes null and void. School don't really work like that. At least when I was going to school, it didn't. You had a deadline for them essays and them projects. You had a deadline for your homework and this and that. Keep on missing them deadlines and see what's up. See, don't pass this class. Ain't nobody got time for that. You might be able to come through a couple of times and say, you know, can I get another day or so for this paper is going to be late. You might get that grace a couple of times. And then there comes a point where your professor, your teacher, whatever, like, nah, I gave you an extension already. You got it or you don't. Nah, I said, well, then you get an F for that. Oh, but I just need one. A. You only get so much. You only get so much. Go to your job and keep not getting your work done and see what don't happen to you. You're not going to be able to keep on giving your boss them excuses. Oh, I couldn't finish my work. Oh, you know, I was going to turn it in. Oh, you know, I couldn't even get in touch with such all that million excuses. They going to get tired of that real fast. You know, I don't think that this job is for you. Because there's a standard that you have to come up to. Yeah, life happens, things happen. Sometimes it's out of your control, but still, there's a lot of times a standard that you have to meet. And if you don't meet it consistently, you consistently don't meet those standards, then you fall underneath the standard. And then therefore you get left behind. When we as a Black people, we're scared to do that. We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. We don't want to have a standard that is here, and some of us are here, and that's what weed out the people that's gonna make it from the people who ain't, because the standard is here. When I was in school, 100 to 95 was an A. If you was getting a 65, baby, you couldn't have the A. You couldn't have it. You didn't earn it. You didn't do it. You didn't get all your credits. You can't walk across the stage. You got to do them that year again. Go to summer school or something. You didn't earn top 1 or 2 in your class. You don't get to be the valedictorian or the salutatorian. You don't get that because you didn't make it. You didn't meet the standard. There was a requirement for that. And we don't want to say as a culture and as a people, this is the requirement. This is what we're doing. And no, we don't accept foolishness to stand for us. There's always going to be a subset of people that's not going to do right. But the problem is, and the difference is, we can't let that be the face of us. For us, not to prove nothing to white people. For us. Thank you, Beshua. So I believe the consumption of GMO foods is a contributor to weight gain. Also, for those of us over 45, menopause makes it a little more difficult to lose weight. This is true. This is a lot of reasons, and I don't touch on it, but this is a big reason why people are so much bigger than they were 30, 40 years ago, 50 years ago. I don't think the average American understands that the stuff that they eat is not food in other countries. It don't qualify as food. It qualifies as consumable. You can ingest it without like dying immediately, but it's not really food. And I don't think a lot of us take enough of that into account. That same food that somebody might have ate 30 years ago, it's not the same food. It don't have the same ingredients, and your body is doing something different to it. Even when we come away from a lot of processed stuff, we know the bunch of cake and ice cream is not good, but do you know that there are a lot of different ingredients that are considered too harmful to be included in even processed food in other countries. This is why other countries' food tastes different than ours. And when they get here, they can't, their bodies don't adjust well. They're like, what's going on with y'all food? I watched this video about this lady who was originally from Italy. And, she had family back in Italy. But, she grew up here. And she couldn't eat bread no more, even when she baked her own. Even when she baked her own. And when she went back to Italy, the bread, she was like, I didn't have any of the digestive issues. None of it. And, she did her own digging and things of that nature, and realized that the flour was processed differently. It was different, like the flour itself, how wheat was even grown or processed. So, no, they not. No, they are not. No, they not. They not skinny. They no, they not. Them women is fat. The average white woman is not skinny. You ain't seen them white women in Walmart? You ain't seen them white women? It's a bunch of white women in my gym ain't skinny. Bunch of them. But that's the image they put out. We thin and we fine. So in your mind, you don't even think about a fat white woman. But they be fat. And in order to be skinny, they go through a lot of deciding that they're not going to eat anything, like nothing. Thank you, Carol. Said, love you, Kendra. Love from the Shy. Thank you so much, Carol. I appreciate you. Thank you, Isel. So will you ever play Thank You for helping me on my show anymore? That was actually for a particular person. So no, I don't play it because that person hasn't been here. Thank you, Gloria. So they always want to stud us after they breed us to be human working machines. Thank you again, Sister Beshua. Said a PC elites don't want us to be exceptional. Athletics aside, there are many inventors, scientists, and medical innovators they want to keep hidden. Exactly. Thank you, Pharaoh. Says Super Saiyan. Yeah. Thank you, CMC. Said appreciative of your words today. Thank you, Sister Beshua. Say if you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you're picking his pocket. Give him somebody to look down on. He'll empty his pocket for you. LBJ. Thank you so much. Thank you again. Once again, Sister Beshua said, Negro, sweet and docile, humble, meek, and kind. Beware the day they change their mind. Wind on the cotton fields, gentle breeze. Beware the hour it uproots trees. Warning by Langston Hughes. Thank you so much. I want to thank everyone. And let me say this before I go, because I know folks going to misconstrue what I'm talking about with the food. I'm not saying there is no way to eat healthier and to make different choices. What I'm saying is we as a group collectively not paying attention to what has changed in the food, so that we can understand that even though we might be eating similarly to what we might have eaten 30, 40, 50 years ago, the food itself is not the same. So you actually have to make different choices now with the food. It's going to cost just a little bit more. You may need to learn to grow certain things on your own, and just watch certain ingredients. And you're going to have to start reading labels. Black people don't like to do that. We like to just pick up the stuff that we like. And mostly only those of us who have dietary restrictions of some sort or some illness that prevents us from eating a certain thing start looking at labels. But I would encourage you, even if you are not having any health problems, or even if you are not adhering to any particular dietary restriction, please start reading the label. Read the label. You'd be surprised at the stuff that's in stuff. You'll be surprised at what it do to you. Start zeroing in on why your stomach don't feel good, and why you be bloated all the time, and why you know what I'm saying? A whole bunch of stuff got dextrose and maltodextrin. I can't even eat that stuff. I have to read the label and be very meticulous about it. Can't eat too much of a certain thing and things of that nature. So please start reading the labels. Start eating the serving size of things. Okay? Eat the serving size. That's a big one. We don't eat the serving size. We eat 2 or 3 or 4 times the serving size of certain things, especially if it's stuff that we like. Start measuring your food. Eat the serving size. And if the serving size is really, really small, but the carb is high, the calories is high, it's probably something you shouldn't eat. People eat too many calories in a day and don't even realize that that's what you're doing. Thank you, sister. I plan on buying bulk grain berries and grain meal for making my own bread, as well as a pressure canner to make meals shelf stable. Sister Bethshua is on it. She's on it. I can't even lie. The sis is on it with the food and the preservation and growing. One day I'm gonna be like you, sis. One day. Right. Some fasting to help you chill out with the eating. Drink you some water. You're gonna drink you some water. I recommend purchasing a distiller, a home distiller. You can get countertop distillers off of Amazon. Distill that water. Because a lot of times the water that you buy in the store that say is spring water, that's tap water. They just cleaned it a little bit better. Distill it. Exactly. Pink salt, avocado oil is my go-to. Olive oil is the secondary for a little bit of saute. I like avocado because it's a high smoke point. But in any case, I wanted to clear that up about the food. There are obviously ways to eat better, eat healthier, do your exercise, but you have to pay attention closely to what you are eating, how much of it you're eating, how often of the stuff that you're eating. We have to pay attention to it closely now. Closely. Anyway, before we get out of here, I want to go ahead and check this out.
of these styles and designs can be found at our Etsy shop in the description below. Aaliyah's Unique Boutique. At Etsy.com. Follow us on IG at Aaliyah's Unique Boutique.
The link for Aaliyah's Unique Boutique is pinned to the top of the chat. You definitely want to go and get yourself some beautiful handmade, hand-designed earrings. Once again, that's Aaliyah's Unique Boutique, and the link is pinned to the top of the chat. Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your hostess, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.